A very good evening. I thought I had time to have that before this was actually live. I was wrong. Not that it really matters, because this is the Katie's Arms. And as many of you will know, the Katie's Arms was started to be an online pub so that we could all have a laugh together at the time when pubs were still locked down, which is essentially they have been forever, although I know you can go back in them now. So that's where Katie's Arms came from. It didn't actually come from these, although it was based on that. And this fabulous t-shirt, luckily I could fit the word Katie's on because my boobs are obviously so massive. You know, even if I'd been called Charlotte Ann, that would have fitted on as well, because these things, I mean, it's a wonder I can run, isn't it really, darlings, without getting black eyes. That's my aspiration, actually, one day, is to be able to run and get black eyes as I do so. I've been hearing on Love Island there's supposed to be a woman who looks like me, or a girl. She's put my daughter said, I said to her, which is the one on Love Island that I'm supposed to look like? And she went, not the munting one. And I was like, yes, that'll be the one. So I don't know what it is, whether she's just got like a slightly pronounced nose or something. Somebody will help me find her. But there's someone on Love Island. I feel sorry for the bird because I'm sure she's young and lovely, and she definitely doesn't look like me in any which way. And also all the girls on Love Island have like huge boobs, don't they? They have the ones that are just like coof, stuck on under the boobs. They're just two circle melon things, which always, when I see those naked, they always look really, really weird because they are just proper circles. And I always feel like fake boobs were always designed by men who had an idea of what boobs looked like but didn't really know, so they just like made two grapefruits and then whacked them under there. And that's what the Love Island girls seem to look like to me. My daughter's asked me, someone's saying, is it Chloe? I don't know. Chloe, maybe. I don't know. Whichever the one is that, well, I suppose looks a bit like me, but like 100 years younger. I was just upstairs sticking on my t-shirt and I was like, do I look like, I was asking my daughter first, do I look like a, you know, the divorcees disco? And she was like, no, Mum, you're fine. And I came downstairs and said to my husband, do I look like the divorcees disco? And he went, well, and you'll know the divorcees disco. Like when you're young, there's a night that's the divorcees disco night, right? Where divorced ladies go and try and find someone, and men go, well, this used to be how it was anyway. Men would go to find someone really easy because divorced women are typically easier because they want to feel better about themselves. And then me and my young mates used to go to those nights just to really annoy the fat, chunky divorced women and, you know, generally be irritating. I was irritating way back then, hey. Chloe, I think it could be Chloe. I'm going to look at Chloe. I'm hoping that Chloe is like, is annoying. I'm hoping Chloe is really annoying. I hope she has mega tits, like these. And I hope she has one of those weird vaginas that young girls are supposed to have where you don't have any bits. Like, I've seen them. They make swimming costumes. What do you call swimming costumes? Bikinis, if you're young. What do you call a bathing suit? So they make bikinis now as if you don't have any bits, don't they? They make them like straight across. And any complaints about the shorts? These are shorter shorts, because somebody on Katie's Arms the other night was moaning about my shorts and suggesting that I never changed them. So I found these because they're shorter. So that sort of, you know, stick that up your arse. Complain about these. Essentially next week I'm just going to come on wearing nothing, and nobody wants that. Many people know that I now clap as I walk. You know what I'm saying? Things have gone south. You don't need to see this without the shorts on. On the subject of divorce, let's all say a big cheers. Cheers if you're drinking. Drinking. To Sarah Vine. More on that in just a second. Sarah Vine. If you don't know, what's your foo flaps? Exactly. Foo flaps. Clap as I walk. Yes, get it now. Like when I was fat, for Fat Story, I had a gunt. Think cankle, calf, ankle, gunt, gut. Can't say that word. Terrible. Sarah Vine is divorcing Michael Gove. Some of us have known about this for a long time, and we also know what Michael Gove has been up to. And put it this way, well, actually, the CCTV of that would be kind of a bit hotter, actually. No one's allowed to talk about it, obviously. No one can speculate in any which way about what Michael Gove might have been up to in his spare time. But they're now divorcing. And the inside scoop is, hold on, I've got to itch my nose. Hay fever, I think. The inside scoop is Sarah Vine is really, really, really annoying. she's also really, really, really wide. So if I was at the Daily Mail when I was there, you wouldn't want to be behind Sarah Vine because A, it's really dark and you're like, shit, you have to turn on your like torch on your freaking phone because you like, why has it gone dark in here all of a sudden? It's because Sarah Vine is there and she's like, poof, and she's one of those, ooh, you know, she's no way is she going to blow over in a breeze, that woman, no way. Like if we lost the legs to any of our oil pipelines, you could bring Sarah Vine in and she would just hold up that oil pipeline, no problem whatsoever. Don't stop with the rude naughties comments, naughty boys. And I mustn't look at comments. That's terrible, isn't it? It's vanity, I think, is it? Or is it curiosity? I don't know. It's not a good thing. Sarah Vine, yeah, massive chunker. She's also got one of those weird wide necks. So from her jaw, if she were to have had a jawline ever, maybe she did at birth, I'm not sure, then it just goes straight down. So she, like one big tube, like a toilet roll, essentially. And then she's loved by, I'm not sure who it is, the editing staff of Daily Mail, not Mail Online, Daily Mail. That's why she's always on front cover. That's why she has the splash on the front page, because they love her. And they always believed at Daily Mail that Gove would be Prime Minister. She was the link to Prime Minister, hence her splashes on the front page, even though her writing, in my personal opinion, is completely shit. And it is. But anyway, chunky monkey. And then she would write columns about how, oh, it just is great to be chunky. I love being chunky. There's nothing wrong with being chunky. Skinny women are bitches. And then she would like lose a bit of weight and go, oh, it feels so good to be skinny. Oh, I love being skinny. She just writes any old shit to fill the pages for whatever she gets paid, 400k a year maybe, to write a few columns. Crazy. So they're divorcing. That's going to be really awkward for the paper because they still want to like hump the leg of Gove in case he ever becomes Prime Minister, but they're allied with Sarah Vine. And brilliantly, most brilliantly of all, having delved into everyone's life, like, I mean, the things she's called me, my darlings, all of which have been perfectly true, like being a complete cowbag. She's gone for me, she's gone for Meghan Markle, she's gone for everybody, even though she looks the way she looks. And now she's asking for privacy while she divorces her husband. Privacy. Gove better hope that those pictures and images stay private, because that's going to be a whole other conversation that we can look forward to. But that's what's going on at politics at cabinet level in this government. Hancock's been banging his aide, and Gove has been, whatever Gove might have been doing, bending over, has been super, and now is being divorced from Sarah Vine. I wish them all the very best. I hope they sort it out completely amicably, and I hope that, hey, I tell you what, divorce typically makes people lose loads of weight. So, you know, there's a good thing, Sarah. That'll be nice for you, won't it? When I was divorcing my first husband, this is straight up, I genuinely thought about taking out a hitman. The thought of divorce and divorce proceedings, the thought of going to the solicitor, having to articulate everything that had gone on, the thought of going through all that. When I was really busy, I had a job, I had children, I had stuff to do. I genuinely thought and slightly looked into taking out a hitman to just get it over and done with. And I think a lot of people who have divorced will have felt the same way at some point, because it seems much easier to sort of just dispose of someone you used to be married to, maybe the father of your children, than to have to work it all out. Like just finding them, if they just turned up dead in a sort of forest area, you know, that would be kind of less awkward. And it's not meant in an unkind way. I didn't want to, you know, have a hitman on my first husband in an unkind way. I didn't wish him unwell. I just wished him gone. And that seemed to be an exit point. And then I sort of came to my senses and realised that prison time wouldn't be any good for anyone, although I'm well up for that now. So Sarah Vine, yes, I wouldn't go down the hitman route, especially not with Gove. He has police protection at all times. And yes, I won't say anything about his new partner, or even that there is one. I wanted to offer my shared sympathies for parents out there who are enduring the bollocks of school regs under bullshit COVID. There's so much bollocks, we can hardly wade through it all. I know so many of you that have been emailing me to say that you're not even allowed to go to your bloody kid's sports day, or aren't allowed to go without a sodding COVID test, or you're not allowed to watch at all, or if you are allowed to watch, you have to watch like 800 metres away from where your kid is probably jumping in a bloody sack. If you're allowed, I don't know, are you allowed to jump in a sack these days, or is that politically incorrect as well? So I apologise for all the parents. I'm not apologise, I have no power, but I extend my sympathies to you for the bullshit that you're going through. One of the things that's really pissing me off right now is parents who are being compliant. So there's other parents out there, you may be one of them, whose children are being sent home from school because someone in their bubble has had a bloody positive test. You'll all know by now that on TikTok the kids have worked out how to get a positive test. And actually, I applaud them. It's kind of punk rock. You make up twatting stupid rules, we're gonna twatting break them. You want to give me a holiday for 10 days? I can stick this up my ass and get a positive test. Just for clarity, young people pretending not to watch but you secretly are, don't stick the COVID thing up your ass. That doesn't make it positive, just makes you highly suspicious because that'll be fecal matter. Anyway, and so kids are being sent home en masse. I may or may not have a personal experience of this. And frankly, I don't even blame the school because the school gets its funding from the government, so what the frick are they going to do? I blame the bloody parents. If you're one of these people that are doing the tests, because they're not actually compulsory, your kid can still go to school without doing the tests, you're part of the problem. Because if your kid comes back positive because he's used lemon juice or any of the other things they can use to get a false positive, you mean that one of maybe mine or someone else's child is now supposed to be self-isolating because you were compliant with the testing regimen. And if you had manned up, we wouldn't be in this position. Same, in many ways, with people when they go to do get a meal in a pub and have you done the track and trace? Have you done your track and trace? They don't speak like that, but that's the way I hear them. Have you done your track and trace? No, piss off and get me a menu and lose your attitude. Never do the track and trace. What do you think it actually means when you're doing track and trace? Have you actually thought this through? What it means is someone knows that you were at that restaurant, and if some other twat in that restaurant decides they need a few days off, let's say a waiter, and he decides to stick his test kit up his arse in lemon juice or in, what else works? Is it Coke, lemon juice, kiwi fruit? They do that. You are going to be told to self-isolate because you went, yeah, I've done my track and trace. What are you doing? It's basically like going out with pictures of something that you've got that's valuable in your house, putting it in the local, McColl's or Lidl, and saying, I've got these valuables in my house, come and take them. You're basically leaving a trail for people to try and shut down your lives. This isn't difficult. Grip it. You have to try and make you as defended as you can be. That's true for me when I walk down a street in a big city where possibly I'm a target. I need to be aware of myself. It's true for you now, and or any place you're going to leave a fingerprint of your life. Decide, do you want someone to be able to get hold of you? And your initial reaction to all of those questions should be no. No, I don't want to be traced. No, I don't need you, you pissy little waiter in you pissy little pub, to trace me because I am a free shitting individual who pays my taxes, and so you can offer tea piss. Someone says to you, did you do track and trace? Say, no, sorry, I don't do that. And you hold that silence. That's the key point. So you hold the stare, which is a meaningful stare that says, I don't do that, son. And you hold the silence, which says that as the silence explains you're not going to have your mind changed. No, I don't do that. And you hold that. Believe me, it works every time, especially if you're me. Especially if you've got my face. Just say it doesn't work on your phone. Yeah, you can give excuses. You can make yourself feel better. You could say, oh, sorry, I forgot my phone, and then get it out at dinner and people are scrolling through it. It doesn't matter. Or you can kind of man up and just give it the, I don't do that, which is kind of me, subtext that says, I don't engage in that shit. So you can do that. So that's my little rant about people not being so complicit or compliant with all of this. Here, Frankie and Benny's tried refusing me entry because I refused to do track and trace. This is where I wish I was just like always out on the road with some kind of emergency dial device, maybe in an ear, like Britney, we'll get to Britney. And then like if that happens, like, Belinda's been refused from Frankie and Benny's, I could suddenly be there at the door and then get you in. Like, I just want to come and fix these things manually for everybody because you would be in that place in a heartbeat if I was there because we'd find a way. Usually we'd go through the kitchen, pretend to work there and then get a table, but we'd find a way. Right, I wanted to say a nice thing. I know. Stop the clocks. Stop the clocks. Jeremy Clarkson. And then I promise I promise, hello, Shah and Jay. We love you. Well, I love you too. Thank you to everybody for your support as well, and for all your supports on Instagram. It's driving them. The other side are getting a little crazy now. I can feel the first tentacles of it, because we're moving up to like 270,000 followers or whatever. It doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter as long as you guys have this platform. And there's rumblings and rumours already of, you know, the old mafia that shut down Twitter, my Twitter now. Like, how do we, there's rumours of meetings between the head of the Muslim lobby and the head of the Jewish this and the whatever. And it's like, what are you going to take offence with me mainly talking about my vagina? Is that an issue for the, you know, board of deputies? Is that an issue? Jeremy Clarkson. So I never watched TV really. I watch the football and I watch a bit of Wimbledon if I can, mostly if Federer's playing, just because, you know, Federer. I'd quite like to get the whole Roger Federer tattoo. Just that he just looks like he smells of roses at all times, speaks 6 languages, has a beautiful wife who doesn't feel the need to show off. I mean, come on. Anywho, but I don't really watch TV. But I have watched for the last however many days, and we've watched it once a day, because I can't do back-to-back TV because it makes me feel guilty if I sit and watch too many at once. I'm like, I should be doing something meaningful to save the planet. Not the planet, save Britain. Jeremy Clarkson and The Farm. I just love that the audience love it. I love that everybody's been so amazing about it. I love that everyone's got so engaged with it. I love that you can see lovely Jeremy being just so him, and so the guy is just genius, as you know. His writing is just brilliant. The volume of work that man does in a week. I don't mean about The Farm now. I mean previously with his writing, everything he did, producing the shows, being the guy, and just to see him just get such success with that show. I just feel for how he was treated by the BBC and what they did to him, and a lot of it isn't known, but the way that he was their main attraction, he was their star earner, and just because one bitter, insipid, little horrible man in the BBC was determined to oust Jeremy, that's why he ended up out of that corporation. And look what he's gone and done. He's brought something most brilliant to TV, and I just love it. I love Caleb. I want to marry him, as does everybody in my family. I think as do most people in England. I think, yes, it's on Amazon Prime. Exactly. I've tried to purchase this on a DVD from my father because my father doesn't do any of this modern nonsense. Him and my mother tried to install a TV the other day and ended up not speaking because there's actually, mother, if you're watching, bugger off, Monty Don, we discussed this. Mum and Dad came over earlier for ham and jacket potatoes made by my fair hand. Thank you very much. So I warned her not to be on here tonight so that she wouldn't hear the naughty words or know things about my private life that she shouldn't, even though she's my mother. But anyway, I've been trying to get a DVD of it so my father can watch it, but it appears that's not out yet. Anyway, I have to work out how I can get my father to watch it. I wanted to also say a massive thank you to not only English football fans, but the Tartan Army, who I think we talked about last week. But watching, wasn't it just watching England v Germany? Nervous. Husband says, no, they can never win. We never beat Germany, do. And all the sensible football people are saying, no, you can never win. We can never win. We never beat Germany, do. And bear in mind, my husband supports Watford and used to play for something. The name I forget. That's how, dedicated to this sport I am. But anyway, England v Germany. But I just had a feeling. Because everything's been so shit. I just had a feeling. And then people were on Twitter just praying, please let us win. Please. It was really, really sweet. We were all doing it and I was starting to do the same thing. So I was like running and I was like, I know, if I run really, really fast up this hill, then we'll win. That's what will happen. And I was making all of these sort of bargaining things and I don't even know with whom. Like what? The maker? Is there a soccer god? Look, if I punish myself, please let us win. And then all the fans turned up and they were like, please let us win, just this thing, please. And Merkel had been this sort of ginger twat all week, hadn't she? And, oh bless, shout out for Tommy Robinson. We can talk about him sometime, actually. Um, so Angela Merkel had been a dickhead all week, and she'd been saying we were banned from the EU, and then now the latest is that she's trying to say that some of our vaccines aren't good enough. They don't meet the highest German standards. Don't know what accent that was. Obviously massively racist. Going back to the LOLO years. Don't worry, I'll be doing some Benny Hill in a minute as well, just to finish off the moment. A couple of Jim Davidson skits. That should get me removed from Instagram pretty pronto. But just to come out and see the English fans, it didn't matter to me that the players on the pitch, like, fine, I get it, like, that, you know, some of them are kind of cute, obviously. And I even forgave Marcus Rashford. Like, I got really, really, really bored with his whole child school bills. Feed the children, like he's some frickin', you know, Black Bob Geldof. But it's like, you know, my argument always, as we know, it's not that unreasonable. Like, if you have a child, I don't know if we need the gestures. I suspect you know where a child comes from. But if you have a child, you should have probably worked out, oh shit, I'm going to need to feed this thing. Not feed your vagina, but like feed the child that comes out of it. Like, you do work that out. Like, as you're carrying this thing around and then it's feeding on you or you're feeding it, the thought that you're going to have to pay to feed that thing. Like, that probably should come into your mind at the point that you're lying there thinking of England or thinking of whatever dark thoughts you're thinking. So I get the free school meals thing, and it's also very all lovely. But actually, shit, we need people to own their own crap, don't we? Like, if you have a kid, you're going to need to feed it. But like if you have a dog, right? If you have a dog, you're going to have to feed it. Like, that's the deal. You don't have a dog and then ask the government to come around 3 times a day and feed the dog, do you? So that was my argument with Marcus Rashford. All forgiven because he got a goal. Marvellous. H managed to get a goal as well. Who knew? I've always felt like somebody who can't really speak, Harry Kane, should really be able to get a goal, shouldn't you? Because, you know, we compensate, don't we? I don't have big boobs, so I compensate by, I don't know, talking about my vagina a lot. Harry Kane can't speak, therefore he should be able to kick a goal. Like, spend your life, I don't really know how to speak, I haven't got a jawbone. Boom, kick the goal. That's what you'd want to happen. And like for the last few games, whatever, he's just been like, fuck it, I won't speak and I won't kick a goal either. It's like, Harry, mate, we haven't got you on TV listening to you try and talk that way if you're not going to get some freaking goals in. Like, sort your shit out. And he did. Brilliant. But the players don't matter. What matters are the fans. And just watching them be so joyful. I just wanted to be in the stands. I wanted to snuggle up under the big overhanging beer belly of the guy with the sweaty gunt and the flap here. I wanted to put my little face in between the sweaty boobs of the man going with no shirt on, jumping. I just love those people. I love it. I love it because it's 2 fingers up to Sadiq Khan. It's 2 fingers up to Angela Merkel. And it's people remembering. I've always said, since the greatest hoax in human history of lockdown began, the thing we don't realise they took from us, and it's what I am doing when I'm on the road in America, bringing people together so they remember what they forgot they didn't have. And what we forgot we didn't have, or don't have, is the ability to be amongst each other and fill each other up with happiness. Jumping together, being around each other, the noise of each other, the singing, the being in the same space. It doesn't matter what you've got or who you are or where you come from. Just, yes, that was just joy. And so England fans that were there in the stadium and sang and sang and sang, you know, you changed everything for lots of us as well. It was like the team changed things for the people who were watching, and then the fans changed things for all of us because all of us felt a bit better. And just to watch, there was a shot at one point of a guy, well, there was a shot of a small German child crying. Made me laugh. And then there was a shot of a man punching his chest where the 3 lions were. And I was like, that's it. That's England. And it was just a little taste of a country that we used to know a lot better and we need to find again. So that was just joyous. 5 minutes. Why does time always go so quickly when I'm just banging on? Someone's asked large clitoris. I don't know what to say to that, darlings. This isn't the time or the place for that. I'm a lifesaver. Oh, well, thank you. And thank you to everybody who's, writing on Instagram and stuff, or to say that I'm helping to, kick things along for people when things are kind of dark and everything is so darn serious. And And it's not that I don't feel it, because of course I do. And it's not that I don't just sometimes want to punch a wall. And I sometimes do that as well. And other people for that matter. But what I know is that when we laugh at them, that they're powerless against us. And the more we can laugh the next time they pretend there's a variant, it's why I'm trying to do this, Katie on the hunt for the variant. I've got to think of new places to emerge from. I could emerge from a womb looking for a variant. Because we need to find the funny in the mockery of what has been a farcical year and a half. And they're not finished with us yet, but it might just be that we're finished with them. And I really I'm still trying to find venues to come out on the road with all of you guys. And that's going to happen, hopefully. I'm just going to make it frickin' happen. And then I've also got some other naughty plans up my sleeve, which I will share with you once they get firmed up. But I won't be sitting around here for too much longer, I don't think. So listen, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that Katie's Arms is becoming a sort of thing that gets talked about as being a way that people can just kick back and have a laugh freaking at me or with me or whatever at this point in their week. And I will go back and find out who this Love Island bird is. She better be hot, and she better be incredibly elusive and being chased around by all the men but denying every single one of them. I heard that one of them had their toe sucked. I hope that wasn't the me lookalike, because if that was, that's disgusting. Nobody should be near feet, not ever. That's disgusting, disgusting. Right, my darlings, I will leave you. And then the big game tomorrow, isn't it? Saturday for us, which we're going to win, actually, because we've beat Germany now. And even if we didn't win now, it doesn't really matter, because we beat Germany. And we beat them at the World Cup that time, not so many years ago, frickin' ages ago. And we beat them in 2 world wars as well. So, and we're all better looking than Angela Merkel, even on a bad day. Even the ginger dwarf from the north. I mean, it's a close run thing. Ginger dwarf from the north, Nicola Sturgeon versus Angela Merkel. If you had to pick one of them, I don't know, I'll leave that one to you. Which one? If you had to do one, which one? If you had to take one for the team, which one would you do? Merkel or Sturgeon? Right, I wish you all a very good night, and I will see you next week at the Katie's Arms. We're going to aim for 8 o'clock, but we'll see. If there's football on, we'll move it to 7:30 again, and I'll find some shorter shorts for next week. Okay, all the very best.